Super Hot.
Hello and welcome to this section of the YouTube channel where we play an indie game and then talk about the indie game that we have played. If you've played along with us at home, you can leave your comments and feelings and vitriol, whatever you like, on this game in the comment section below. And you can check out the podcast on Wednesdays to find out which game we are playing the coming week. I'm joined here by three other gentlemen in addition to myself. I've got Enrique Cancel here, I've got Sam Yates here, and I've got Ryan Dildine here. Hi guys.
Hello.
What up?
So we are going to talk about a game, and I'm going to take a minute here to tell you two words you need to know before we jump into this. All right? The first one, stay with me here, is super. And the other one is hot. Did you guys play that game?
Wait, what game?
Super hot.
I did.
Yeah,
it was the most innovative shooter I've played in years.
You should play it.
Straight off the bat with the references.
It's something I wish I could understand because I have not finished the story.
Yeah, I'm like 70, 80% in. I haven't really finished it, but Sam and Enrique have. So let's start out with you two first. What are your thoughts on the game?
I had a blast on it. I was pretty happy to play through the whole entire thing.
Yeah, very positive.
All right, so which of you would like to have a go at trying to explain what SUPERHOT really is for the people who are not currently watching the video for whatever reason, or who haven't played it?
I'll try that. Let's go with SUPERHOT is a first-person shooter where time moves when you move, and when you're standing still, it moves at a very slow pace. So it becomes more of kind of a tactical game than an actual twitch reflex shooter kind of game. And I guess that's it, right? Like, what else is there to say than that? I mean, there's a lot of like interactive stuff going on. There's a lot of things you can do because you have such a minute control because time is moving at this rate where you can throw things, grab things, punch people, different weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like you took the bullet time scenes out of the Matrix and made an entire game out of it.
Would you say the game qualifies as being turn-based?
No.
No.
Because,
no,
well,
not at all.
Almost, but except for the part that when you're not moving, it's still happening. So it's not like you have a turn where it's your turn and then everything stops. So I wouldn't quite go that far.
Yeah, inaction will lead to your death anyway, so, there's no real turn to speak of there.
But it's slow enough so that like a level starts and you can maybe take a bite of a sandwich and then look around for a second and then start doing stuff.
Yeah, and it's crazy how often it's crazy how often you think you have so much time to do something and you'll, turn your head to look at one guy and then you turn the other way to look and you turn back and the other dude's like right in your face with a bat or something. And it's really interesting just how, like, when I was first watching videos about SUPERHOT, I thought to myself, like, if you're able just to stand there and plan out every move perfectly, it's going to be way too easy, But it's not. It's a really, at least for me, it was pretty hard.
Yeah,
most
and
of the
I like
time.
they kind of offset that by having enemies just spawn randomly through the level as well. So you're never in a position where you're going to have everything completely telegraphed out, which I thought was really cool. And the fact that you can kind of freeze time, it makes it so you can kind of come up with these really cool strategies to take out as many people as you can on the fly, which I think is part of like the attraction the game has.
Yeah.
I think
definitely.
It gives you the right amount of time to think about that stuff. So you can't plan out the next 5 guys perfectly, but you can plan out, all right, I'm going to grab this briefcase and huck it at this dude's face, grab his pistol and shoot him in the head.
Yeah, and then we'll go. Like, one of my favorite levels was when you're in the elevator with 3 guys and they're all aiming the gun at you.
Oh, yes, that was hard.
And but when you figure it out, you're like, God, I felt like a fucking badass.
I loved that one, especially when you got to the bottom and the doors open and there were just more dudes.
I know, dude. Yeah, but like it's like you said, you have those 3 people in front of you, which are their immediate problem. And you have enough time to kind of look around and be like, crap, okay, let me try moving this way. And then, you turn your head and you die. You're like, all right, that won't work. And you replay it a little bit. And then you finally get that sweet spot of who to attack in what order and how to go. And you take the 3 guys out. And you're like, all right. And like you said, then the door opens and you have like a whole room of them. You're like, oh, crap, here we go again.
Yeah, the slow speed also, like, you can set yourself up in such a way that you can finish all the guys in one room in like a really cool looking sweep, right? But the inverse is also true. If you screw up one of the steps you need to take out everybody, you will just be standing there knowing that if you move, you will definitely die.
Yeah, it rides that perfect line between planning and improvisational violence, I guess.
Yeah. So what would you say is the moment where you thought to yourself, yes, this is awesome?
For me, it was that stage where you start out in front of the bar, and the first thing you got to do is grab a bottle and chuck it at the guy and then steal his pistol. That was when I got hooked completely.
Yeah.
No, I'd say for me it was the level where I guess you're in a museum and you have the katana sword at the very end of it.
Yeah.
And the realization that you can actually chop bullets in half, it just added like this whole other layer of just a badassitude for it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's really. I remember that level. That one. I liked in that when you throw the sword and it doesn't. It like comes out like a spear. You know.
Yeah, and like the reason I like that level is because you basically go straight down the hallway, you pick up the sword, and you turn around, and then there's more guys coming at you from the opposite end of the hallway. So it kind of gives you enough time to learn the mechanic of how that sword works, and then you turn around and you kind of can improvise how you want to use it from there on out. So you can either, like you said, chuck it down like a spear, and then in the time it takes to kill one guy, grab something else and chuck it down with it, and then pick up the sword again. I mean, it's just really satisfying.
Yeah, I think mine was. I think it was the elevator, because when you start that level, I remember looking around and I was like, these three dudes are like pretty much pointing their guns at me. There's no way to get out of this. And I thought that, I was like, maybe it's part of the story. Maybe it's one of those things where you're meant to fail. And it wasn't. And it took me like 15 minutes to figure out what exactly to do. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you got to like punch one guy, grab his gun, throw it at the other dude, grab his gun, shoot the third guy, and then like punch the other two, and then grab a gun so you can kill the guys outside the elevator. And it was really like, I just think it was really, I don't know, I guess clever is the word, to make you figure out what to do in such a short amount of time, but they give you plenty of time because of the bullet time effect. So yeah, that was my favorite moment.
Yeah. That game does a really good job at making you feel clever about the things you did. Like, a lot of the time, the situations you have resolved, you resolve them in a very clever manner, really, if I do say so myself. But the game does a really good job at making everything look real flashy to go with it. Mm-hmm. So it always feels like you're doing exactly what the game wants you to do, because it always looks amazing, no matter what you do.
Did you guys ever find yourselves intentionally messing up a level just so you can just redo it in the most grandiose way possible?
Yes, I did that a couple of times.
I did that in I think the name was like the Kill Bill Mansion is what it was affectionately called. But you start off on top of a balcony with a sword, and there's three guys on the bottom level. And I remember I got the idea to jump off the balcony, land on one guy with a sword, slice him in half, immediately turn around, and I moved just enough so the two guys were like lined up with each other, and you could throw the sword and skewer both of them at one time. And it was probably the most satisfying feeling to be able to just kind of like get all that and then watch the replay afterwards so you can see everything in real time.
But real time is that is like Twitch shooter speed, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like normal speed. It is pretty quick, which makes the replay look that much cooler because it's all in very, very rapid succession.
Did you guys try playing it without stopping? It's freaking impossible.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's
very,
like
very hard.
The bullet travel speed isn't what it would normally be. So it's like, obviously that's the first problem, but then also, I mean, one hit and you're dead. So it's not like Counter-Strike where you can take maybe 2 or 3 bullets before you die.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's also the fact that the game intentionally doesn't give you enough time to react to those situations in real time, because you have so much coming at you from every different direction that you can't realistically process everything. So it's set up in a way where you have to stop and then use that to your advantage to be able to figure out where you're going to go through next. Because even turning your head around will speed up time.
Oh yeah,
I did not know that part.
Yeah, turning your head does, and I think grabbing things and firing weapons and throwing.
Yeah, because it's still technically a movement that you're doing. So yeah, because I learned the hard way because I was sitting with a guy had a shotgun to my face. I'm like, crap, let me look to the left and see if I can run that way. And the second you move your head, time picks up again. So yeah, it's a surprise.
Let's move on from general gameplay to presentation, because a big part of this game is presentation. And the thing that struck me the most, apart from the minimalist aesthetic, was how enemies you kill, they don't fall to the floor. They shatter like glass in the most satisfying way possible. I thought that was really, really good.
I like that in particular because it gives you a really good, I guess, clarification of when an enemy's down.
Yeah.
And that's really useful when it comes to certain moments where you're either fist fighting or when you throw an item at an enemy and you realize that's the last hit you need to take them out. Because with that game, you can't really afford to do a double tap and make sure someone's dead. You have to have your moves planned out like 2-3 steps in ahead, saying, okay, as soon as this guy dies, I'm going to turn around and go for this guy. And just having that confirmation of when you see them shattered, you're like, okay, I know he's done. Now I can focus my attention elsewhere.
Yeah, and you can hear it too, which is really nice.
Yeah, I liked I like the presentation style because, well, mainly I one of my biggest pet peeves in shooters is when they make everyone so camouflaged that you can't see anybody and you just die kind of out of nowhere, which this game doesn't suffer from whatsoever because everyone stands out so much. But I also really liked how when the enemies are spawning in, you kind of hear that noise of glass, being put together, I guess.
Yeah, and you see like the little red lighting wherever they're at.
Yeah, so even if you don't see them directly, you know that you need to plan for someone coming out of that portal, and you need to plan for whatever weapon they have, be it a gun or fists or a bat, whatever. But yeah, that kind of took me by surprise. But that was something I really liked about the presentation, was how when somebody's spawning in, they kind of give you a heads up, but not a full heads up. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I like the lighting in particular, even with something as, I guess, baseline as lighting, they managed to add something into that makes you feel cool because you can see the shadows of the guy.
Right.
So I just like how the theme of doing rad shit carried over even that far, because you see a shadow coming towards a corner, shoot a bullet, the guy comes around the corner and catches it in the face, and you feel awesome about that.
Oh, you're right, because I remember there's one level in particular where that actually worked. I think is when you killed all the guys in the boardroom. That right before you go there, you go to the metal detector, you're around a blank corner, and you can see the shadow of the guy coming in before you see anything else in there.
Yeah, so it just kind of supports that through line of the entire game of just doing cool stuff,
Yeah, I think the only thing that I found a little bit lacking was even though I enjoyed that contrast with the white and red, looking at some of the previous, I guess like the screenshots they released for the game whenever it was first kind of being talked about, I noticed the levels had a little bit more color in them. Like hallways actually had more like a beige tone. The museum level actually had some like specific color for the actual art pieces and everything. So it looked a little bit more vibrant, I guess, or at least a little bit more differentiated, which I thought was really nice. But I can see why they probably removed it just for the sake of processing.
Yeah, and it doesn't really need all the extra colors, really. I mean, I thought the aesthetic was striking, and because it's so minimal with the stark contrast between like the red and on the white and stuff, it is a game that stands out regardless. You know what I mean?
And it's cool because if it's black, you can pick it up and throw it at somebody, which I think is really great.
Yeah.
You never have to wonder, like, hey, can I pick up this wrench or this baseball bat because it's black? So the answer is yes.
So, what would you say was your favorite moment in the entire game that includes a story?
Oh, I know.
Well,
I know. When you're talking to your little chat buddy for the first time, and it tells you to type, and then you try to type what you want to type, and it ends up filling in words for you, and then you realize it just wants you to like mash the keyboard like you're typing. Yes. And that was the moment I was like, "This is awesome. This is the greatest thing." Because it's just always funny to see in TV and stuff when people go to keyboards and just hammer away at them and stuff pops up on the screen.
Oh man!
And I was like, awesome! I get to be that guy now.
Yeah,
and that's like the game. SUPERHOT's awesome and everything. I really like it, but that is the one thing where I was like, this is badass. This is awesome.
Actually, I don't know if you got this far, but that whole concept of just smashing whatever you want and then this game fills it out for you gets even more meta later down from a story standpoint. Yeah.
That's oh man, I loved when there's one part where you're just mashing the keyboard, but then the screen fills in the text for you, but it's also just a keyboard being mashed. And then I looked down and I was like, did I actually press those buttons or was that? And then I tried to type something new, and it went back to like typing whatever it wanted to say, and I was like, damn it freaking got me.
For me, it's probably just one of the individual levels. I like the one with the truck, or the one where you have to jump over a car right at the very
one where
beginning.
you start in the truck?
In it?
You talking about when you gotta dodge it?
Yeah, like it's coming at you down an alleyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, there's one where you actually start inside a truck, and there's like a bunch of like pots and stuff like near you, and there's a guy running into the truck immediately, and then you can. The only thing you can do is grab one of those like coffee mugs and throw it at his face.
Oh, that one. I didn't know I was in a truck for that one, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I thought I was in a shipping container or something.
For me, the favorite thing would not necessarily be a specific moment, but a mechanic. I love the instant restart.
Yes.
The fact that when you fail, you can just hold R and you immediately start right back up. Because when it comes to games like these, and I found it too with like games like Hotline Miami, they're all about kind of like the trial and error. And the more you progress, you start, you fail, figure it out, and keep going. You get a little bit further every time. Imagine if it was one of those things where you died, it gave you game over. Would you like to continue? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then, if going through all those prompts, it kind of like takes away a little bit of the momentum. And this game, I think, relies really heavily on that momentum of going, killing 1, 2, 3, 4 guys in a row and then just keep going after that. So the fact that it lets you just bypass all that filler content and literally just go from dying to killing the guy immediately, like next round within a matter of seconds, I think is really, really great for the game because, like I said, it helps feed that momentum and it keeps it going.
Yeah, that's really cool. For me, it's probably the way the instant replay is presented to you at the end of each level. With the super hot being thrown at you for as long as you're willing to watch it.
I think it was so trippy.
Yeah, right. It's very unsettling.
Yes.
And it. At normal speeds, it's incredibly violent as well. It just made me feel very weird on the one hand, and on the other hand, made me very proud of what I just did. And I thought that was the coolest thing at the end of each level. Yeah. So, with that being said, anybody else want to add something, or have we said all we wanted to say on SUPERHOT?
It's the most innovative shooter I've played in years.
Sounds like it'll be the most innovative shooter I've played in years. I don't know yet.
The story was surprisingly trippy and well thought out considering what it was. Because when you go into it, it's an indie game. You don't really expect much out of it in terms of a story. You think it'll just be kind of a fun experience carried by an innovative mechanic. But the story itself was actually really engaging, at least enough for me to want to keep playing and figure out what the hell's going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Play it. It's good.
Well, there you have it. It has the Select Characters seal of approval, SUPERHOT. If you want to know what we're going to play next week, you can check out the podcast, which we upload to either SoundCloud or YouTube every Wednesday. If you like this, please consider subscribing to us. We have more stuff like this coming every week, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.